Hello viewers! Have you ever considered all the seemingly small creature comforts our cars have? These are usually features we genuinely take for granted and don't think much about them. That is, at least until something goes wrong and they stop working. Well, one such feature for sure is a windshield washer. Should it fail, seeing the road ahead might become quite challenging, especially when driving in dusty and muddy conditions. And besides being annoying, this is also potentially dangerous, as you may end up crashing into something. So let's take a look at the things that can cause a broken windshield washer. First, we'll have to figure out why the washer fluid isn't spraying when you pull the windshield wiper stalk. And one of the obvious reasons here is that you might have just run out of it. Sure, many cars will have a warning message on their display when the washer fluid is low, but that's not always the case. Anyways, you can always try pouring in a fresh quart of fluid, it won't go to waste. But if that doesn't make any difference, you'll have to dig in a bit deeper to discover what's causing the issue. The next thing is these nozzles you can see right here, which are responsible for spraying out the fluid onto the windshield. And over time, they may become all clogged up with gunk and dirt that might have contaminated the washer fluid. Or the outside debris may form sediments on its outer side, which is far more likely to happen if you park under a tree. Obviously, when the nozzle gets all gunked up and clogged, the washer fluid will no longer be able to force its way through. And with no clear path for it to spray onto the windshield, you'll end up getting nothing. Just like the nozzle, the hose that connects them to the reservoir may be clogged, which obstructs the washer fluid flow. Or the hose may be cracked, allowing the fluid to drip out instead of reaching the nozzles and consequently the windshield. If that's the case, you should notice a puddle underneath your car after trying to spray the windshield fluid. Another common cause is a defective washer pump, which lifts the fluid from the reservoir, pushes it through the hoses and towards the nozzles. This basically is a simple 12 volts pump activated every time you pull the wiper stalk to wash the windshield. And as with any mechanical part, it's only going to last so long. The life of this pump is even less if you frequently run out of the washer fluid. If you live in a colder climate where the temperatures drop below freezing, your washer fluid might freeze up during the winter. This is especially true if you've put tap water or an incorrect washer fluid in your car. And yes, there is such thing as an incorrect washer fluid, as we shall see a bit later. Sure, if you park in a garage, you may not have this problem as frequently, and even if it does freeze up, it shouldn't take long to warm it up back into a liquid. But anyway, you'll want to avoid this from happening in the first place. The next thing, as with anything else electrical, are fuses, whose job is to ensure there are no shorts in the electrical system, which would otherwise fry expensive equipment. Instead of harming the electronics or even potentially causing a fire, a short simply blows the fuse. So if the washer fuse has blown, the fluid pump won't be working, and when you push the stalk to spray the windshield, nothing happens. Lastly, there is always a chance there is a wiring issue preventing your windshield washer from running properly. This includes anything from damaged or broken wiring to loose or corroded connectors, all of which may cause the pump to stop working either occasionally or permanently. If the windshield wiper has stopped coming out, you have a few options. Even if you have no mechanical experience, many of these tasks are easy to accomplish and you don't even need special tools for most of the fixes. Here's the way we would handle diagnosis and repairing the wiper fluid situation. Obviously, you need to start by making sure there is enough fluid in the reservoir. If this tank has run dry, you won't be able to get any fluid onto the windshield. Before you fill it back up, make sure the reservoir is in good condition. Cracks or damage could have caused leaks, which would have run the tank out. If you don't see any damage, put in some fluid and double check for leaks. Once you have confirmed there is nothing leaking, you can fill in the reservoir until it's full. Close the cap and try to run windshield washer fluid again to make sure it sprays. If the fluid is full, but you can't get anything out, it's time to take a look at the nozzles and hoses, which are easily cleaned out with the right equipment. Start by finding the nozzle, normally on the hood of your vehicle or in this case on the scuttle drain. With an air compressor, attempt to blow out the debris. You can also use a can of compressed air. Some people though prefer to use a sewing needle, which is fine, but you have to be careful that no new damage is created. Stick the end into the nozzle and try to wiggle it around and loosen up the dirt. If that doesn't fix the problem, you should inspect the hoses running to the nozzles, which might be clogged, damaged or torn. In some cases, you may need to replace the windshield washer hose. Your next check is with the wiring system, and we recommend starting by looking at the fuses. You can find a diagram for the fuses in your owner's manual. Determine which one runs the windshield washer pump and pull it out. If the fuse is blown, the metal wire will appear broken. You can also use a test light or a multimeter to determine if a fuse is blown. And if you need a new fuse, make sure it gets replaced with a correct amperage rating. But if the fuse isn't the culprit, you can trace the wiring to see if there is anything damaged. You should also look over the connectors and replace anything that's worn. If the pump has run without fluid in it, it could burn out. And additionally, the pump will go bad over time just from regular use. You can prevent this from happening by keeping the reservoir filled up all the time. The easiest way to test the pump is by unplugging the connector and connecting it directly to the power source. This can be done either by hooking it to the car's battery with test leads or using, for instance, a jumper booster. Either way, if you don't hear anything once these are connected, the pump is most likely broken. As you may see by now, in most cars, replacing the washer pump is not a difficult job. If you have to take it somewhere, it may cost between $75 and $250 depending on your vehicle type and the local labor rates. If the fluid has frozen, follow these steps to get it going once again. Fill up a pitcher with hot water, but not too hot that is untouchable. Pour the water into the reservoir, only add a little bit at a time. Use a turkey baster if it reaches and remove some of the fluid from the reservoir so you can add more hot water. Repeat this process until the system is defrozen. Replace the water with wiper fluid. If freezing temperatures continue, you may want to choose a fluid that's more suitable for your climate. Freezing fluid can lead to bigger issues because it expands, which may cause hoses or a tank to burst. If despite all this you still can't get your windshield wiper running, it's time to get some professional support. A certified mechanic will be able to find the problem quickly and get you back to seeing clearly again. And whatever caused the problem in the first place, make sure to take steps to prevent it from happening once again. Otherwise, you might find yourself paying for another repair bill. So, that's all about the windshield washers and the potential issues you may have with them. I really do hope this video helped you sort them out and that you now once again can see clearly up ahead. If so, give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. But if not, something else might be causing the issue. In that case, check out other videos here or visit our site mechanicbase.com for more detailed car repair guides. Bye!